Hey guys, welcome. I'm really excited to show you this demonstration on how my process called ELV works. It stands for Elevate Life Vibration. And I offer this beautiful process as sessions for other people, but I also have a course where I can teach you how to do it. And it is absolutely life-changing. So let's get started. I have a client who has volunteered to let us go through with instruction and tell you the things that I have done and cleared for her. So this is going to be really informative and really instructional. So whether you are a newbie to energy healing or you are a veteran, you will be able to pick up on lots of beautiful stuff. Now, the focus of her session was on resistance to healing and also with her specific issues. So when we come into a session, we do it with intention that we have certain things that we want to work on. And those can be anything from cravings to emotional issues to recent events that have caused you to feel out of balance or out of whack, or you may not even know why you feel that way. And that's why it's so beautiful, is because we're going to figure it out by using your subconscious. Energy has no limits, so we make this beautiful connection that allows me to basically read what your subconscious has going on, and then we can help your body to balance and clear things out, as you're going to see as we do this process. So her focus on resistance and also on some dizziness issues. Now, the subconscious is basically in control of this process, so it may dictate what we actually find, and it might not be what we thought we wanted to find, but that's why it works so well, is because we don't have to try to find or figure it out. We allow the subconscious to basically show us. So before I get started on any client or during a session, I like to just, with intention, bring in beautiful energy so that we are setting the intent for the session. So I do that by taking in a nice deep breath, just allowing that relaxation to come. And then we're bringing in energy to clear out any resistance from its roots, from any points of origin, from this life or past, any previous energy points, allowing for acceptance. We want to do that into cells, membranes, tissues, molecules, and all physical, spiritual, and energy points. Beautiful. Working with the desire to heal and being completely full of gratitude for this process. Then also bringing in energy from any spirit guides, any contracted healers, our ancestral guides, to help us to be able to find the most beneficial and release these with full clarity. All right, now I have already gone through and found everything that's going on with my client for this particular session so that I can be more instructive. If I try to channel in and instruct at the same time, it can get a little cloudy. So I will go through and tell you all the beautiful things, but you can also allow yourself to accept this energy, and it can also help you to balance. Even if the specific thing is not in alignment with what your issue is, you can still grasp and hold on to some of this beautiful energy work, and it can affect you in a positive way. So allow that for yourself. Allow yourself to just let it come, let it flow without resistance. The first one that I found for her, so we have these, what I like to call them, they're kind of like the foundational blocks. So we're going to focus on a specific statement or issue. That's kind of like what the subconscious gives. And so this specific one, when I looked for most beneficial for her, was energy blocking you for taking acceptance. Now, that can be kind of hard for our cognitive ego mind to wrap it around because we don't like to take acceptance. But when it comes to changing, it's important to also realize that you need to take some effort into this. Cause and effect. You want to be the cause of what is happening to you instead of allowing the effect of things to happen to you. Okay? It's taking ownership. It's making change. It's doing it instead of allowing it to just happen. Okay? As far as, blaming things. Oh, I'm financially unstable because la, 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 la. And then you're pointing the blame on something else. One is you want to look at, okay, what role am I playing in my situation? That's where your real power comes. So, okay. So energy blocking you from taking acceptance. So the blocks that are associated with this are we have a negative energy from this feeling of I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to go through this. And so we clear that away. What do I mean by clear? We're grabbing onto that little energy thought, that little energy source, and we're pulling it through the body and we're sending it out through the toes and we're allowing universal energy to take it and dissolve. This is no different than when you go through an issue. Like think of when you have a really emotional day and you have a really good cry and you feel better. That's you doing the same thing, releasing that out. But sometimes these things just don't release because we are hungry, we are tired, we are already dealing with other things and our body just can't release them. So that's what we're doing, is helping this to clear. There is also a blocked emotion of some rage. So we want to clear that away. And now that those two specific little foundational blocks are gone, it allows us to balance the body, balance the mind, or the energy flow. So in specific for this one, we have some energy from infection. Energy is a little different than the actual infection itself. It's usually residual, it's left over, it's absorbed from being around someone else, it's ancestral. So we're allowing that to go. So clearing energy from infection. Then we're going to balance the hypothalamic pituitary region. Balancing that, clearing that away. We're clearing out an image of a book. So sometimes we have images that get trapped in our subconscious that trigger responses. So then when we're reminded, we see something, hear something, smell something, pick it up by one of our senses, the way that it gets filtered creates a trigger event or a response. So we're clearing out some kind of an image from a book. This is a conflicting idea. So we're clearing that away. Beautiful. Clearing a toxin from a fungus and releasing that. So that is all that was kind of bundled up together around energy blocking you from taking acceptance. And that's how the beautiful process works. So let's keep going on. This one is called a past life duality energy. Now, for my clients, I always tell them, whatever you believe is totally amazing. I believe in everything and nothing at all. So if you believe that you were in a pre-mortal spiritual existence before you were born, fantastic. If you believe that you were born a gazillion times and you've been reincarnated, then beautiful. Whatever resonates for you. So let me explain it in both terms so it can make sense. So past life duality energy. This is simply meaning that you have had two, if you believe in reincarnation, two lives that are kind of like repelling each other that just need to be balanced out. Or if you were in a premortal existence, then these are going to be people that you helped. Maybe they're your ancestors, but they're two different lives of two different people that you were assisting with. And some of the energy from doing so has just simply been carried over. So this specific duality energy is affecting from some physical trauma to the bones that are in the sinus cavity, okay? So the two different dualities are someone that's really critically ill and another person that is the caregiver. So we have the person that's being critically ill and the caregiver. So there's just a couple of energies there that are being carried over. So when we see these, we always then want to say, okay, so what energy is being carried over into the now that we want to clear? So energy carried over is some karma energy from being demanding, okay? Karma energy is something we really want to get rid of. So I always say, hey, when we hit karma energies, allow them to go. Don't get defensive and be like, I would never do that. We all have karma energies. We've all put off negative energy into space at some point. So we're clearing karma energy. Being demanding, we're clearing energy from feeling taken advantage of. We're clearing that away. So those are the two kind of like dualities, being demanding and feeling taken advantage of, from those two different dualities of life. Now, why do we experience dualities? Because we have to know one side to know the other. You can't know what happiness is unless you know sadness, correct? So that's what duality is. All right, so we're clearing this energy, feeling taken advantage of, and then we're also going to clear a pathogen reservoir. So now that I look at this, I can tell you that the person that's critically ill has been affected by this specific pathogen. So it's called Cyclospora, and we are going to make sure that all this energy has been cleared away. So I just have this little mantra that I like to say. There is no right or wrong way to do this, by the way. You can just clear it away with intention. All right, so let's let this release. And if you have any past life duality energies, you can also take advantage of this. So clearing any negative fragmented soul energy from this lifetime, recalling it back through all dimensions of time and space with no limitations. This energy passes easily without resistance through all chakras, processed back into the soul energy source, collecting and removing any imbalanced DNA formations, both physical, emotional, and spiritual. This energy is sent out through the outer level transcendental chakras to universal energy where it is accepted and dissolved, and so it is. Beautiful. Now, sometimes if something doesn't clear, then I'll just get an image that I missed something or something else needs to happen first, okay? But all of that beautifully cleared. Now we're going to look into like some acceptance. Like what can we clear to allow this healing acceptance to happen? And when I looked at this one, we had lots of stuff going on in the inner ear, like really, really down to the real specific structures of the inner ear. So this was attached to an energy that's no will to heal or survive, which to your cognitive mind sounds really crazy. Why would I not want to heal, or why would I not want to get better? But it's trapped in the subconscious for some reason, and we want to get rid of it. So we clear that away. And then I repeated this process for the right ear and the left ear. I always ask the subconscious, hey, do we need to do the right first or the left? Is it affecting both? And the subconscious will let you know. So although I can see these things, I will caveat right now that I cannot pronunciate medical terminology. That's not my background. So I will just briefly go over these, but I'm certain that I'm not saying all of them correctly. And guess what? Your subconscious doesn't care. It doesn't care. It just needs to have that little, whoo, it knows exactly where it is. Okay, so with energy, we are bringing in for you in the right ear, we balanced a bunch of stuff with the vestibuli and the tympani and the cochleoduct and the windows of the malleus and the incus and the stapes and the semicircular canals and the vestibules. And we allow all of this to flow, releasing, and we do with intention to the right and the left side, all of these parallels, sending that also out to anyone else who's watching that needs this. We're also balancing T-cell responses in the inner ear, clearing out some inner ear antigens, and then we're going to clear a negative polarity alignment. This is between the lung and the pericardium meridian that we're balancing. Meridians are simply sources of they're like the veins for energy. Meridians are like arteries and veins, and our chakras are like our organs. And this is how our energy flows through our body. So we want to keep those nice and clear. Beautiful. All right, the next one that I did was some energy that came up around unfairness. So feelings of unfairness that we're clearing. This is being caused by 5 specific foundational blocks. One is the blocked emotion of some lack of trust that we clear. A toxic phrase, those happen whenever you hear something, and it doesn't even have to be directed at you. Your subconscious picks up everything that is going on all around you, even though you are not aware of it, and it filters. And so these toxic phrases could be at a table next to you while you're eating dinner. They can be from a radio. They could be from a television. They could be from lots of places. So this is a toxic phrase, or someone even telling it directly to you. Toxic phrase, you only have to do this once. So someone saying that then created some kind of a belief, some kind of a barrier. You only have to do this once. But it's also associated with a lack of trust, okay? Then there's a blocked emotion of some deep-seated grief that we're clearing. Some energy from, I never get help when I need it. So that's an energy from a specific event. I never get help when I need it. So we're clearing that out. Clearing some energy from feeling uprooted. And then we're going to go ahead and balance the root chakra, resistance to vibrational energy. So this is 396 hertz. So everything is vibrational, and we're balancing this out, allowing this energy to flow through. Balancing the elemental energy of earth. We are so associated with earth and water and air, and we want to make sure that's beautiful and balanced. So these ones that I just did, they're all associated with keeping grounded, that feeling of connectedness. Then we're clearing an energy from a pathogen. This is the pathogen that's associated with tetanus. So we're clearing that away. And we are balancing the left foot bone, cuneiforms balanced, and then we're clearing some physical, emotional energy from age 5. Now, when we do this, sometimes they're all connected and they make lots of sense. And then sometimes the subconscious randomly has oh, by the way, there's a bone in the foot that's out of balance. Once again, why this process works, right? Because if I go into a doctor and I'm like, oh, my arm hurts, they're going to focus only on my arm. They're not going to x-ray my left elbow if my right arm hurts. But in fact, I might have a toxic phrase that's hanging out over here that's creating my arm to hurt. And that's why your subconscious does this work so beautifully. All right, now let's go on to the last one that I did was some energy around why did this happen to me? So there's a blocked emotion of some guilt from the past, from a family member feeling responsible. So we're clearing that away. We're clearing out some karma energy of being judgmental. So releasing and balancing that away. And then we're balancing the tryptophan synthesis, which is associated with an amino acid that's responsible for creation of melatonin, which affects our sleep. So we're balancing that, balancing melatonin production. Eye stimuli to the pineal gland, we're balancing the pineal gland overall, and then clearing a negative energy attachment. So negative energies can attach to us. So people will say, what does the negative energy look like? What's a negative entity look like? What do you think it looks like? Because it is whatever you think it is. That's how they work. This one specifically doesn't have a gender. Sometimes they come across as being more female or more masculine. Sometimes they're energy from people that have passed away, people that are wayward spirits that need a little help getting to their next little spot. They can be all kinds of things. In this specific situation, this is just a negative energy. It's non-gender specific, but they feed on things. So when people are like, I feel like I just have this thing that I can't shake, it potentially is a negative entity form. So this one is feeding on feelings of giving up. So we want to clear the entity away and also clear the feeling of giving up. So we're just getting rid of that, sending it away so that it doesn't have anything to feed off of. Okay. Now, I also want to include with this, we're going to do this beautiful affirmation. So subconscious also provides the affirmation. In this particular case, it's very short and specific, and that's okay. Sometimes they're a little longer, but you can participate in this affirmation with me. So simply relax yourself, center your energy again, and we'll do this 3 times. The affirmation that we're imprinting is, I accept, open, and heal. Imprinting it even deeper. I accept, open, and heal. One more time, making it a positive belief. I accept, open, and heal. Beautiful. All right, guys, that's it. That is how the beautiful process of ELV works. And thank you for letting me share that with you. And thank you to my client for allowing me to share with you her beautiful notes. Sending you lots of love and energy for balancing your own self, mind, body, and soul.